Hello everyone, this is Gayle, and today I'm going to just play with some Mokume Gane. Now, for those of you that don't know what that is, it's an ancient Japanese technique, and I'll show you what it is. I'll have to look up the history of it. I should have done that before I did the video, but I'm going to start off with 3 colors of clay, and I've got white, gold, and black, and they are all rolled out on the thickest setting of the pasta machine, and then I stack them and cut them to a common shape so that, you know, it'd be easier to work with. But now I'm going to take these 3 and I'm going to roll this through the pasta machine again at the thickest setting. So you can see we have a little bit longer piece now. And I'm going to cut this in half. Let's see. Let me put it on a inch mark. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe 5.5, so that would be 2 3/4. So 1, 2 3/4. Now I know that this is not going to be accurate just because, you know, of the ends of it, but I don't want to cut those off until I'm finished so that we can have a good sheet. So now I'm going to stack these. You can see that now I have 6 layers. I'm going to roll this through the pasta machine. And let's judging from here, it's be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll just cut this at 2 inches because I'm going to cut this part off. And I'm just going to put these pieces together. You see, all this here is going to be trimmed off, but I want to leave it on until we're finished. So now we have 12 layers. Let's see, should I do it one more time? I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. So I'm going to leave it 12 layers. So now I'll trim off this end. So now we have a good sheet that's got 12 layers on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on I think I'll put it on my work surface. I should have rolled it, make sure there's no air under it. And my roller was here a moment ago. It's probably right in front of me. Maybe not. What did I do with my roller? It was right here. Oh, there it is. It's behind my scrap clay. I just want to go over this lightly just to make sure that it's stuck to my work surface good. And I'm going to take a stamp this time. I usually, when I do Mokume Gane, I usually poke it. But this time I think I'm going to use a stamp. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think I'll do the white side down. I'm going to lay it on my stamp. And I'm going to press just to make sure that it gets down in all the grooves. You can take your roller and go over it. Whoops, sorry about that. But you just want to make sure that the clay gets down in all those grooves on the stamp. going to just press it down. Then I'm going to lift the stamp up. I say this stamp is some Oriental writing, Japanese inspired. And there it is. And I will cut this end off just because there's nothing there. And I'm going to get a piece of wax paper to lay over here, and I'm going to get my sharp blade. Now those of you that know me or have watched my videos know that I think the Lucy clay blade is the sharpest that there is. I might be wrong, there might be others out there, but I know I've cut myself on this blade. But what you want to do is shave off all of this raised section, and it's going to and you can bend your blade just a little bit, doesn't have to be much, and just start at one side and just start shaving and shave just a little bit at a time. You don't want to gouge. This is way too deep. But it's looking pretty good. What I'm going to do is cut that off, because you can use this piece of clay too. And I'm going to try to not go quite so deep. That's what I meant to do. See how it's just shaving through the raised surfaces? And you just continue doing this until you've shaved all of your surface. And like I say, don't throw away the pieces that you're shaving off. I think I'm having trouble with this because this blade is so sharp. But yet you need a sharp blade to get this. Of course, you know it's not user error. Ha! More than likely, it very likely is user error. There we go. Now I cut off some of the fan. You can see the fan in there. But I cut some of it off because I was pressing too hard with the blade. And you just want to even this out a little bit because mine was not straight. But this is, you know, I love Mokume Gane. It's just really nice. Now, I need to pick a shape that I want to use, and I think I'm going to, oh dear, I got these cutters out, but I don't know that these are the cutters that I wanted to use. Maybe I'll just make a rounded cut here. I'm just going to round all the sides. Actually, I think I'm going to cut this as one. And let me curve this side. So I'll make 2 out of this one. Now these, what you can do, you can take all of your scraps and blend them all together. Let me get this out of the way before I cut myself. And you can blend it if you want. You can leave it marbled if you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten this out a little bit and roll it through the pasta machine. Isn't that pretty? And I'm just going to start rolling from this end so that I can get all the air out. And I think I have to cut it there or I'm going to end up getting air inside. I'm going to roll this out. And I don't know if you like bangles or not. I'm going to trim this way and bring it together. I guess I'll use the whole thing. I'll trim this one to where they're opposite. See how they're opposite cuts? And then you can put them together and it makes a stronger union. It's more likely to stay together. Now I could have put this on a can. I don't know if it's, I could have wrapped it around a can. I could lay it on the top of a can to get it round. But before I do that, I'm going to take all these little scraps. Actually, this one is a little thick, so I'm going to roll that one with my roller a little bit. And I think I'll cut it in half. And I'm going to put this over the bangle. And I'm going to, not put them together because we don't want it too close together, but do the same thing. This is another one that looks a little thick. Actually, this one is too. Let me use some little pieces. And just start covering. Well, here's a long piece. Of course, I would have started with a larger piece of clay. I was doing this just for demonstration purposes, and this was an afterthought. But you just piece all of your shavings onto a backing, and you've got a really pretty bangle. Which is just one thing that you can do with your shavings. You can use these shavings for all kinds of different things. Well, that broke off, so I will find a little spot where I need it, like right there. And you can overlap these. You can do just about anything you want with these pieces of clay. The rough edges really give it a lot of character. Anyway, since this isn't the main part of my video, I'm not going to finish this, but I will put, like here, I'm going to put the two rough sides close together. Because I wanted to work with the other. I just wanted to show you that don't throw away your scraps, because there's so many things you can do with scrap. And this is just one of them. Well, I may as well finish it. I'm almost done it now with what I've got to play with. So you've got another side, and I don't have enough for both sides. So if you have, big enough scrap, I don't think I rolled this one out. You can just continue, with what you've got left. Of course, I would start with a larger piece of Mokume Gane, but you get the idea. And after you get this covered, you can set it on a can, or you could even roll it down this can if you want it a little bit bigger, and just let it bake on this, and it keeps it round. But like I said, that was not my main thing today. So let me shape this a little bit better. I still don't have this quite the same. Try to get your curves even, which I didn't do on this one to begin with. Now this has made it long and skinny. Let me save all my scraps up here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some black and I'm going to roll that out on the pasta machine. Sorry, y'all are getting the whole thing today. I'm not cutting a lot of this out. But I'll roll it on the thickest setting. Then I'm going to go down to maybe a number 3, because we don't need it very thick. And then what I'm going to do is get my sandpaper out. I have some really rough sandpaper. I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to take this and just rub that down so that I can get the texture from my sandpaper. You can use any kind of texture. I just really like this sandpaper look. You see that look? I really like that. Now this is now going to be the bottom. And I'm going to lay this on here. With a little bit of space around it. I'm going to lay this on here. And I'm going to follow my curves with this. Probably shouldn't have put both of them on here at the same time. It'd be much easier to cut. You can see I'm just leaving maybe 1/8 of an inch around the sides. I'm going to put this on a clean piece of patty paper. And I'll cut out the other one. Do the same thing. Follow the line of your cut. This one's a little asymmetrical. Really, I didn't look at this one like I did the other one. This one really isn't cut very even either, is it? Okay. That looks a little better. I think this is the one, yeah. That's the curve that I had cut around. So let me cut around this side. And because this one is so tall, I think I'm going to cut an accent piece out of this textured piece, but I'm going to cut it straight. And I'm going to put it right across. I think I'll put it maybe up here. And there you go. You can put, actually let's put a little one on this one too. I think I'll do this one a little more catty-cornered, just to show you the different options. Just tap it lightly. You don't want to get rid of your texture. But then you can put bales in here. But there's 2 Mokume Gane pendants. I'm going to bake these at 275 degrees, which is the temperature for Primo. This is Primo clay, and I'll be back after it's baked. Sorry, I thought before I put these in the oven, I ought to put my bales in. Let me just show you how I do that. I've got 2 antique gold bales. And I'm just going to make a little slit in the top. And slide this bale in there. Then make sure it's where you want it. And then I would take a piece of patty paper to put over it and just press to make sure that your clay is grabbing that bale. And I'll do the same with this one. Just slice into it with a blade. You could use a craft knife. Another thing you can do, and someone tried to send me one of the little stainless steel, it's a stainless steel odor reducer, but it's like egg-shaped, and it makes a really good thing to burnish with. But I'm going to use just one of these large flat marbles. The ones that was sent to me never got here. I never got it. But that will help smooth out, you know, your surface. Not that it shouldn't already be smooth, but when you're slicing with the blade, it has a tendency to not be quite even. So just burnish it a little bit. You don't have to press hard, just enough to smooth out your clay. Now I'm going to put it in the oven. And I'll put it in there for an hour, and then I'll be back. Okay, my 2 pendants are out of the oven. And normally, I would sand and buff these, but because I have this textured piece on it, I can't do that, or it would take all the texture off. So I'm going to use some Sculpey satin glaze. I'm not going to use the gloss. I'm just going to use the satin glaze. Of course, you could use deep shine resin if you like. I use that a lot of times for a lot of different things. But I think instead of having a glossy shine, I'd like to have the satin. And I'm going to put it around the sides because I want all of this to have that satin look. And I'll do the 2 sides. And then when that dries, or actually I'll lay it down here. And I will touch up the ends. And I'll put 2 coats on it. I'm going to use, I'm putting 2 coats on it because this is leaving brush marks. I'll probably need to use a different brush. So I will put a separate coat on it with the brush strokes going in the opposite direction. And I do have a softer brush. Let me use one of Tiny Pandora's brushes. I love her brushes. She's got the best brushes. And I do use some for the Deep Shine resin. So I think I will do one. If I can get the one out that I want, it's probably going to be the last one that comes out. There it is. No, that's not the flat one. Let's see. I think I'll use this one. This one's going to be a little bit softer and hopefully won't leave as many marks on it. This glaze has also gotten a little thick, which is another reason it might be leaving brush marks. That's probably what it is, because even this soft brush, well, this isn't as bad. But it sure is making the gold sparkle. I don't know if you can see or not how the gold sparkles. Probably not. And I'll do the sides, just so that all of them have a shiny surface to it. And there you have two very nice Mokume Gane pendants. So I hope you like this. Let me get a little close-up view. There you go. Aren't they nice? I just love this technique because you can't get this look any other way. There's no way you could mix this to get it to look this way. So hope you like this. Come back again soon for another polymer clay video. Thanks. Bye-bye.